Vegas Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. A nightmare for the Jets after just 4 snaps in the first game of the season. MRI confirmed quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered a torn Achilles on that first drive of last night's win. He is out for the season. Jets will likely sign a QB, but their plan, move forward with Zach Wilson as the starter. He is the best option for New York, believes ESPN's Robert Griffin III.
If I'm Robert Saleh, this guy gives me the best chance to win because he knows the offense. He has the relationships. He knows the camaraderie within that building, and he's improved upon that. Don't go bring a guy in that's going to be a distraction and let it be lended that, hey, we don't believe in this guy because we're going to go sign this high-profile guy off the field.
NBA prosecutors revealed at Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr.'s arraignment today, his alleged attack on his girlfriend at a New York City hotel left the woman with a fractured neck vertebra and a cut above her right eye. He's charged with felony assault and strangulation. Rockets are not allowed to punish Porter while the NBA conducts its own investigation. Ohio State has named quarterback Kyle McCord its starter the remainder of this season.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months. Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Locked, loaded, a ton to do. Sean Salisbury next hour. We have to update our Ocho Cinco bet. Do that next hour. If you don't recall, Chad Johnson, a.k.a. Ocho Cinco. Yes, that Chad Johnson and I do legitimately have a wager this season on Derek Carr's season statistics. So we will update that coming up next hour. We all heard the pop. Heard around the football world. Too soon. Too soon on AA, Ron. Too soon, maybe. You good with it?
I'm good with it.
Good with it?
Yeah, I mean.
Muse is salty today.
It's been, look, it's been, what, 8, 12 hours? You're good. News has been confirmed. We all know what it was.
What it was is that Aaron Rodgers is out for the year. Confirmed now by the Jets. Torn Achilles, which, as a random aside, has always terrified me. That seems like that's the most excruciating injury to have is a torn Achilles. From someone who has severely strained his Achilles and been in a walking boot, the thought of tearing my Achilles is devastating. Anyway, so an MRI confirmed torn Achilles for Aaron Rodgers. And for the Jets, they have a real question that they have to answer right now, and that's, are they going to be committed to Zach Wilson? I think you probably know where I'm going with this. Now, I know Adam Schefter just tweeted a bit ago, for those that haven't seen it, that Robert Saleh, and this is 8 minutes ago as we stand here on this Tuesday, this was tweeted at 2:56 p.m. Central Time. Robert Saleh, quote, "This is Zach Wilson's team." So, Robert Saleh standing by the guy that they drafted 2 overall for now. That, to me, is a little bit laughable considering you were not standing by Zach Wilson when you went and traded for Aaron Rodgers. It's clearly not his team. What do we always say? Actions speak louder than words. Your actions show that you did not have faith in Zach Wilson to be able to lead this team, hence why you went and signed Aaron Rodgers in the first place. So all of this comes down to now, because ultimately the Jets have got to add somebody. The only other quarterback they have is Tim Boyle on the practice squad. Who is Tim Boyle? I mean, Muse, I'm not even going to pull. I'm not even going there with Tim Boyle.
Are you sure?
I don't know Tim Boyle.
Are you sure you're not?
I never heard of Tim Boyle.
You go there with everybody.
Not Tim Boyle.
All right.
Oh, that Tim Boyle.
Oh, see here. Yeah, of course. Of course.
Coincidentally, Tim Boyle out of, you know where he played collegiately? Any idea?
Let's go with the University of South Dakota.
No, Xavier. No, I'm sorry. That was
in New Orleans?
That was his high school, Xavier in Middletown, Connecticut. Oh. Then he went to UConn and then transferred to Eastern Kentucky. Played on that red field up there. Yeah. So isn't that Eastern Kentucky? Or is that
That's
Eastern
Washington?
Eastern
Washington.
Yeah, Eastern Kentucky. Not as interesting. Nonetheless, played for the Packers, the Lions, the Bears. It's the whole NFC North, except for Minnesota, and then the Jets. So Tim Boyle has played in a total of 37. No, that was in college. He played in 37 collegiate games. He has played in 16 NFL games in total. He has attempted 106 passes. That's the only other quarterback on your roster. So if you are the Jets, very clearly you have got to consider all options. And there are a lot of people opining today on what the Jets may do. Now, the most obvious one and the name that everybody's going to mention is Tom Brady. Could they get Tom Brady out of retirement? And I think if you're the Jets, if you're Joe Douglas, you have literally got to call everybody. You have to call everybody that might even be remotely interested who could make your team better. That means you call Tom Brady. That means you call Matt Ryan. Joe Flacco today has expressed interest in coming back to the Jets where he was a backup prior. There's a lot of different options. Now, the word on Brady, or at least the scuttle on Brady, is that he likely wouldn't play for the Jets, being that they're in the same division as the Patriots. You just had this great celebration in New England. Now he's going to come and play for a division rival. I mean, who would do that? Brett Favre. But not everyone has those allegiances. It appears Tom Brady does, and maybe he wouldn't come out of retirement to play for the Jets. We've seen Carson Wentz floated out there. Of course, Joe Douglas is the former GM in Philly. They had Carson Wentz there. And so you've got some potential ties there. But one of the names that continues to pop up in every search about this is Jameis Winston. And Jameis is intriguing because, in theory, the Jets could get him relatively inexpensive. You have a young veteran who has been very patient for the last 3 years. He sat behind Drew Brees in 2020. In 2021, he took over as the starter and was 5-2 before he tore his ACL. We were all excited about him coming back a year ago. Michael Thomas healthy. Jarvis Landry signed as a free agent. We're all excited about it a year ago. And then, of course, he literally broke his back and then had a foot injury, and he was basically done for the year. So now, after basically watching and battling through tough injuries over the last 3 years, is it time for Jameis to reemerge and play somewhere? It's not going to happen in New Orleans. The Saints have hitched their wagon to Derek Carr. So if you're New Orleans, the question really is, would you trade Jameis to the Jets to get something for him instead of having him walk in free agency next year? What would that trade look like? Number one. Number two, if you did that, are you okay with your current quarterback situation? Remember, Jake Hayner's out for 6 weeks because of suspension, which means Taysom essentially would become your backup quarterback. So if you traded Jameis, you wouldn't really have a backup if you wanted Taysom to continue in his sort of role. Maybe you could find someone that could be sort of that emergency quarterback role. What could the Saints get for Jameis Winston, hypothetically? There have been several high-profile quarterback trades recently, namely among them the Aaron Rodgers trade from Green Bay to the Jets. Matt Stafford as well. Remember, when Matthew Stafford was sent from the Lions to the Rams said Jared Goff, 2 1s and a 3. So that was a starting quarterback, 2 first-round picks, and a 3. When Russell Wilson got sent from Seattle to Denver, Denver gave up 2 1s, 2 2s, a 5, and 3 players, including Noah Fant, who's a really good player. So you're talking about way more capital than what we would be discussing with Jameis Winston. Probably the most recent quarterback trade is the one that would make the most sense, and that was Trey Lance. The Niners shipped the former number 3 overall pick in the draft to Dallas for a 4th-round pick. And I think that would be suitable compensation. If you were the Saints and you were willing and the Jets called you and offered a 4 for Jameis Winston, would you take it? And today, I would, for 2 reasons. Number one, you've basically, if you're the Saints, you've shown your hand that Jameis is not going to be your guy. Does he give you a very viable backup? Absolutely. But you've shown your hand in saying he's not our starter. Okay, here's an opportunity to get an asset for someone that's not going to play for you. That's appealing, number one. Number two, if something were to happen to Derek Carr, what is this season going to be anyway? You're essentially back to the drawing board. So I don't know what the Jets think about Jameis Winston. I don't know if they would be remotely interested. Now, if their GM is worth a darn, he's making every call about every possible player. But if he calls the Saints about Jameis, and the Saints could turn that into a mid-round pick, I think you have to take an asset in exchange for a guy that's not playing for you. We'll follow it closely, but this is something that could get intriguing in the coming days. If not this week, maybe in the relatively near future, based on how Zach Wilson performs with the Jets, because they have a roster that they feel is ready to compete, except now at the quarterback position. Okay, let me know your thoughts on that. Should the Saints trade Jameis? I'm curious your thoughts on it. You can email me. You can tweet or X us at
Hey, Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter. Hey, X world.
It's at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can always text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Okay, let's knock out a quick break. Come back, get to some of your reaction there, and also what LSU is doing to prepare for an 11 a.m. start this week. We'll get to that, and you'll hear from Mississippi State head coach Zach Arnett, as well as the Bulldogs start to prepare for the Tigers. We're glad you're with us on a Tuesday edition of AFR. Muse, we forgot it. Yep. Hit it.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I mean, we were rolling for weeks. Bound to happen every now and again. That one just kind of slipped.
Streaks are made to be broken,
I suppose. Bud Light, of course, drink easy with the Saints, drink easy with the Tigers, drink easy with the Jaguars, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the LSU Tigers, the Southern Jaguars. When you were supporting the home teams this football season, whether you're at the stadium, whether you're at home at a restaurant, reach for the ice-cold golden refreshness. Refreshness? Freshness? Refreshing freshness. Refreshness?
freshness, just freshness.
I made a new word.
That's not how that works.
I just did. Refreshness. My show.
There's a process.
There's no problem. I can do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
This is not.
Don't do this. Oh,
this is not a radiocracy.
Ah.
This is a radiotatorship.
You got it that time.
Got it. How about that? Can I get a ding?
Oh, yeah, I was on it.
A radiotatorship. That's what this is. This is a radiotatorship, and here I get to make the rules. My rule is refreshness is a word. How about that? Bud Light. Okay. Quick break. Talk some LSU Tigers when we come back. AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. If your AC ain't keeping up, y'all, don't get stuck sweating in your home. Call River City's 1 hour air. Their expertly trained technicians will be out in a flash. They'll get you back up and running like they did for Caitlin Childress. who wrote this 5-star review. How about this? Nothing short of great service. Our tech was very knowledgeable and educational. I couldn't have been happier with the service provided by Bobby. 10 out of 10 recommend. Another 5-star Google review. When you drive around town, you see all the big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side because they do great work at a fair price. They explain their options. They're responsible and reputable. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Little reggae muse? An hour early?
I guess this could technically be classified
Well,
as
Muse,
reggae.
it's
I don't
420
know.
somewhere.
I don't even know if this is, I don't know what this song is. I just found it on YouTube.
You get it? It sounds like jamming.
Kind of, yeah. A little island theme
Muse,
to it a little bit.
it's 420 somewhere.
Yeah, probably, because, I mean, it's 3:20 here, so,
Yep.
I mean, it's, yeah.
On the East Coast
In the
right
East
now.
Coast, that's the somewhere right there.
Happy time.
Look at that.
Happy time, Muse. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Talk some beer with Feinswog next hour. Sean Salisbury here in hour number 3. For those of you who have asked, we will do our film reviews with Maddie Hudak starting next week. So Maddie was good enough to be with us last year after each Saints game, and she did the film study and film review. and came on the show and kind of broke down some of what she saw. So we'll start that next week with Maddie. Our apologies that we weren't able to make it work today. LSU heads to Starkville Saturday morning, 11 a.m. kickoff. Brian Kelly, when he met with reporters, talked about the opportunity here to start SEC play on the road against the Bulldogs.
Certainly, this is what gets everybody's attention. And not only do we play Mississippi State, but we play on the road. And playing on the road in the SEC is a great challenge. Playing an SEC opponent obviously doubles that. Then you've got to deal with all of the things that go with travel, playing at 11 a.m., cowbells, all of those things. But you do it first and foremost, starting with great preparation this week. And then, your performance. If you play really well, you don't have to deal with all those distractions like any other opponent.
One of the things that he mentioned there, 11 a.m., he talked about road, cowbells, 11 a.m. start. Several times during Brian Kelly's press conference, he mentioned the 11 a.m. kickoff. And so I asked him, considering how it went a year ago for LSU in those 11 a.m. starts, if you remember, LSU played Tennessee at 11 a.m. That's one we would all like to forget. And then they played Arkansas in Fayetteville at 11 a.m. And that was a game where, Arkansas was so overmatched without KJ Jefferson. Malik Hornsby started at quarterback, and they were just wholly unable to move the ball. And Harold Perkins dominated that game, but still, it was a far too close for comfort game for the status LSU was at, coming off the Alabama win, going on the road against Arkansas without their starting quarterback. So, given that, and the fact that Brian Kelly is so detail-oriented, I asked him, were they planning on doing anything differently, this week or this year with an 11 a.m. kickoff?
Not that we would do anything differently, but we do things in our preparation that matches an early start. For example, in our practice schedule, we'll do some things that accelerate, our team articulation. In other words, we're not going to go individual and work our way into group and then get to team. We'll go to team right away. You got to turn it on immediately. We'll do some things relative to getting our senses awakened earlier on game day. We're going to start with our team meal at around 7:20 in the morning. We're going to have an hour bus ride. So, we'll have to handle all of those things a little bit differently than a normal routine. We have a shakeout during a night game, so this is going to be a totally different schedule than that they've been presented with. We'll use some of the things we did last year, and I think that sets them up for a little bit more of an understanding of what that day is going to look like.
The shakeout, what he talked about, if you don't remember, when LSU plays a night game, Brian Kelly doesn't like for his team to be pent up in their hotel room all day, so they actually go to the stadium and they walk around and run around just to get some nervous energy out, and then they go back to the hotel again. So it's a little bit of a different type of schedule when you got to be up and at it early. There is this narrative that LSU doesn't play well at 11 a.m. I actually got a message. God, I wish I could find this quickly. I'd read it for you. But I got a message from a Mississippi State fan who essentially was bemoaning the fact that this game, here it is. I found it. Okay. Bemoaning the fact that this game was at 11 a.m. Basically saying that from State's perspective, it's better for them to have a night game. He wrote to me on Twitter, last time this game was played at night in Stark Vegas, Mississippi State was a 10-point underdog and won 37-7. SEC laws, to protect their prima donna schools by scheduling at 11 o'clock. Tell an LSU fan that the SEC is doing LSU a scheduling favor. Try to have that conversation with any LSU fan. Now, I am on the complete opposite side of that because I do believe your body clock, all of that schedule and familiarity matters. I do afternoon radio, okay? And whatever you do professionally, this might make sense. When I'm on air, as soon as the microphone opens, I got to be ready to roll. Full energy, peak energy. When you do morning radio, it's a completely different dynamic because if you start at 6 a.m., I did morning radio at one point. We started at 5. My first news report was at 5:30, which means when I'm doing that news report, I can't have just rolled out of bed 10 minutes earlier. It's got to sound like the middle of the day for me. So, you're up earlier. It's a totally different thing. Now, the same is true for Mississippi State, but they get to sleep in their own beds, and there's a lot more familiarity there. So, no, I do not subscribe to the belief that the 11 a.m. start is a benefit for LSU. For what it's worth, the great Todd Polides, I did find this on Twitter, who, of course, is the stat guru at LSU. That's not his official title. But dating back to 1983, he found every morning kickoff for LSU. And until 2022, last year, when LSU went 1-1, of course, they lost Tennessee and then beat Arkansas. Here in succession is their previous morning starts. In 2021, they played that game against Florida in Tiger Stadium where Ty Davis-Price ran for 300 yards. LSU won that one 49-42. They beat Utah State in 2019. That was an 11 a.m. kickoff. They beat Arkansas in 2017. That was an 11 a.m. kickoff. They beat Kentucky in 2011. That was the Tyrann Mathieu stripping Maxwell Smart or Maxwell Smith. Maxwell Smith. Maxwell Smart is from Get Smart. Maxwell Smith. That's Alan Risher's fault. I blame him because he basically called him Maxwell Smart the whole season. Anyway, when they beat Kentucky in 2011, the 2008 game against Appalachian State. I guess these were all home games, by the way. But in any event, LSU has had a lot of success in 11 a.m. games, largely because when you are playing at 11 a.m., it's because you're playing, generally speaking, not always, it's because you're playing a bad opponent. You're normally playing that JP special, the 11 a.m. SEC network game, that old window. But from time to time, you end up on ESPN in a pretty premium matchup at 11 a.m. So we'll see if the Tigers can get up and get rolling in this game early. The thing that LSU probably has going for it more so than the kickoff time or anything like that, I think it's the fact that you're going against a Zach Arnett coach team. And that's going to sound pretty harsh, but I don't have a ton of confidence in Zach Arnett's ability to win sustainably and long-term at Mississippi State. In hindsight, we may come back and I may be dead wrong. But I picked Mississippi State last in the West this year, and I'm not one of those people that every year just by default picks Mississippi State last. I know Mississippi State people get very upset about that because they almost never finish last, but they get picked last every year. Well, they had back-to-back really good coaches there. I mean, the longevity of Dan Mullen and Mike Leach back-to-back made them a good middle-tier SEC program, regardless of what the perception of Mississippi State was. But I think two things. Number one, I don't know that any coach had done more with less than Mike Leach. Lubbock, Texas, Pullman, Washington, Starkville, Mississippi, and he won at all of those places. Fewer resources, remote locations, so many things logistically against you, and he won at all three. So you just forget the fact alone, the tragedy of the situation. Just not having Mike Leach is a massive disadvantage to go from Mike Leach to Zach Arnett, a rookie head coach. The other part of that is this is a learn-on-the-job situation for Zach Arnett, who, to begin with, is not very impressive. And I don't mean for that to be a dig on the man. He may be a great human. I had the chance to sit down with him at SEC Media Days, and I was very grateful for the time. But usually head coaches at this level are these sort of like dominant personality alpha males. It's why you have the confidence in yourself to be a major college football head coach. He doesn't give that vibe. And I'm not saying like you have to be a preacher like Hugh Freeze where you have this big personality like that is magnetic, almost like an evangelist. But you got to be able to be engaging to people. And I just don't see that with Arnett. And by his own admission, he talked like this is a long cut. This is like more than a minute, which is hard to imagine Zach Arnett answering a question for more than a minute. But this is a long cut about him explaining and taking ownership of mismanaging game situations through the first 2 weeks.
There's a lot of situational stuff that came up in that game. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, right? Kind of fringe areas. Is that a punt? Is that a go for it? Attempt a long field goal? So there's situations like that. I've decided to go for it once in each game down in, I think I've been 4th and goal at the 4 both times. We haven't got either one. So hindsight being 20/20, you can line up and you kick a field goal. You also like your odds of of defending a long field with your defense, right? And so, but that's 6 points that I prevented simply because I made a decision to go for it, right? And so, and those situations are going to continue to come up. I referenced that 18-19 play drive they had where then Sean forces a fumble. We scoop it, return it about, 25, 30 yards. So we get it out to probably out past the 35. And I instructed the offense, hey, let's play this a little conservative here. Let's try to eat some clock up because we got a defense who needs to catch their wind on the sideline, right? If you go out, you go super aggressive. Let's just say you couple incomplete passes, the clock, you don't run any time off the clock. You're potentially having to punt and go right back out. Now on the flip side, right? If I could do that all over again, I would have told us to be super aggressive. You got a chance to firmly take all the momentum in that game, right? You've just caused a big play to prevent a score. Man, if you can go be super aggressive and score a touchdown there, make that, I think, 21-0 it would have been at that point. Yeah, your defense has to go back out really tired, but it's worth the trade-off of the momentum and the 3 scores.
Do you think Mike Leach ever in his career said, you know what, I'm not going to be aggressive here. I'm going to sit on it and run some clock. That's what I'm going to do. Let my defense catch some wind. Look, Will Rogers, who has thrown for 11,000 yards in his career in the air raid. If you're LSU, what's the thing that you're really concerned about right now? Your secondary. State ain't running the air raid. This last weekend against Arizona, the game went to overtime. Will Rogers was 13 of 17 for 162 yards. An overtime game at home, and Will Rogers threw the ball 17 times. What in the name of Les Miles is going on in Starkville? This is a good draw for LSU at the right time. All right, it's after further review. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned. In Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Hey, look, you can always go shop online. You can pick out your vehicle, make, model. You can design your own vehicle at southpointvw.com. If they don't have on the lot exactly what you're looking for, they can order it for you. It's at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, airline just north of Highland, or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, y'all, it is after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're going to knock out a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go around the SEC. Very interesting. TV numbers are in for Bama, Texas, and Colorado, Nebraska. Wait till you see this if you haven't yet. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Fall is here, y'all. I understand the thermostat may still say 90-something, but the calendar says September the 12th, and it is time, y'all, for fall decor. Clegs has got it. All the pumpkins, the hay bales, the squash, the gourds, the corn stalks, the scarecrows, they got it all out. You want to decorate your patio, your front porch, your back patio, the indoor spaces of your home for fall. Clegs has all of the fall decor. Of course, they've got your fall bedding plants as well. So you want to add those earth tones, right? The browns and the greens and the oranges to the flower bed, to those patio pots. This is the time to do it, and Clegs has you covered. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. For more than 60 years, Clegs is getting you ready for fall. So buy local, shop local at Clegs Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, we'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. As always, appreciate our friends at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. You see that Deere green, you better know they got it at Sunshine. If you're in the state of Louisiana, you want a John Deere, the only place to go from Bunkie and below is Sunshine. 17 locations, awesome people, fired up. And by the way, their latest NIL, they've been telling you they got their NIL deals with Harold Perkins and Emory Jones and Will Campbell. The newest this week, punter Jay Bramblett. You got to go check out Sunshine's Instagram. Let's just say, which I'm a punter and wanting maybe to punt in a straight line, and if you've got a farmer and you're tilling your, or you're farming your land and you need straight lines, just they got a little creative. Put it to you that way. So go check out Sunshine on Instagram for their Jay Bramblett video today. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. The TV ratings are in for this past weekend. Of course, the biggest game of the week was the Alabama-Texas game, and it delivered. 8.8 million viewers. That was ESPN's biggest regular season game since 2015. Also, its most viewed ESPN Saturday game since 2014. It peaked at 10.7 million viewers. Keep in mind, the LSU Florida State game this year outdrew that one. It got 9.17 million, but that was on Sunday. So again, it was the highest rated ESPN Saturday game since 2015. Highest Saturday game since 2014, best regular season game, period, since 2015. Now, what's interesting, so remember, Alabama, Texas, 8.8 million viewers. Colorado against Nebraska on Fox did 8.73. Y'all, Alabama at home against Texas, two of the biggest brands, not only in college football, in all of college sports, and in all of sports. primetime at Bryant-Dennehy Stadium. Alabama gets upset, which always brings a crowd. And it drew 8.8 million. Huge number. Huge number. And it barely nosed past a Colorado team that was 1-11 a year ago against a Nebraska team that has not had a winning record since 2016. For context, y'all, that would be like if 9 million people next year watched Vandy against Mississippi State. Bruh. The prime effect is unreal. Think about that. Bama, Texas? Bama, Texas nosed out Colorado, Nebraska. All because there is a total boss wearing a hoodie on the sideline. It's pretty killer shades. And every now and again, he's got to sit in a chair because his foot hurts. Coach Prime, bro. Whew. All right, it's after further review. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, Nick made up for a loss on Saturday with a recruiting win on Monday. Tide have added defensive lineman Antonio Coleman, a 4-star, 6'2". He's the 25th ranked defensive lineman in the country for the class of 2025. Means he's a high school junior right now. Pick Bama over Auburn, Oklahoma, Texas, Southern Cal. Bama's got 6 recruits for the class of 2025.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky picked up a commit from edge rusher Lorenzo Cohen. He's out of Savannah, Georgia. Cohen picked Kentucky over South Florida and West Virginia. 6'3", 220-pounder. The 17th commit for Mark Stoops in his 2024 class.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And Arkansas landed its first recruit of the 2024 basketball cycle. Top 50 senior Jalen Shelley has committed to the Razorbacks over Louisville, Ohio State, Texas A&M, LSU, and Houston. He's a 6'7" small forward out of Frisco, Texas, the number 43 player in the country, the number 14 small forward. He's headed up to Hog Country. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, the ULL Ragin' Cajuns, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Great supporters of the home team. That's Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR. Sean Salisbury will be with us here in hour number 3. I do want to get Sean's thoughts, of course, as a sort of quarterback guru on, I want to talk about Jalen Milroe. If there's anything salvageable there for Alabama this year. Definitely want to talk about what's going on with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers with his injury. If Jameis Winston would make sense for the Jets, if he were part of a deal, a trade, to give Zach Wilson some competition there or a sensible backup. We'll get into all that. I want to talk about the rookie quarterbacks. Of course, Saints this week are going to face Bryce Young in his home debut with Carolina on Monday Night Football. So we'll get into all that with Sean Salisbury coming up in hour number 3. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. I'll wrap up hour number 1. I got to go to bat for Brian Kelly again. We'll do that next. AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Told you yesterday, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but for weeks and weeks, Gordon had the Get Gordon billboard promotions going on where he was allowing you to design, all of you graphic designers, to design his next billboard concept. It was a really fun competition that they did. Well, they have, in fact, announced the Get Gordon billboard winners. If you haven't seen it, check out any of the social media. Just go to @GetGordon on social media, Twitter, Instagram. You'll see it there. You'll see the winning designs there. And you can also you see the winning designs and what the prizes were. They did a really good job. The other thing I want to remind you, all throughout this football season, remember, members of the G team have autographed footballs, and every week throughout football season, they're going to be choosing winners. So to enter, just go to their social media, go to @GetGordon on any of the social media, and you'll see how you can enter. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Wrapping up hour number 1. We're glad you're with us here. Somehow the week of the LSU Florida State game, this kind of slipped under my radar. Maybe it was just we were so intent on that game, and I think they actually published this the day before the game. Yeah, it was Saturday, September the 3rd when they published this. But Chris Lowe wrote a piece at ESPN.com, and I suspect that Lowe, when he was maybe when he was at SEC Media Days, had a chance to visit with Brian Kelly. And I'll tell you that the day that Jay Johnson introduced his new assistants, Chris Lowe was at that press conference over at Alec Box Stadium. Of course, Chris Lowe of ESPN.com. And a lot of us are wondering, like, why is Chris Lowe here? Well, apparently he was having to sit down with Brian Kelly, and apparently also Jay Johnson and Kim Mulkey. And the piece up at ESPN.com from a week ago, and again, forgive me, a lot of you, I'm sure, read this, saw it, all that sort of stuff. It just came onto my radar here of late for a different reason. But this piece is all about how Brian Kelly was hired and how he's rebuilding LSU football and then coinciding with Scott Woodward hiring Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, who have also won national championships, and how now year 2 expectations are there and all that stuff. So it's really well done. There's some great quotes in there from Kim, from Jay Johnson, some stories we've heard before and some that are new here. Brian Kelly did confirm on the record in this piece that Scott Woodward reached out to him early in the process, and he was dismissive and not interested. And then LSU came back vis-a-vis Trace Armstrong, Brian Kelly's agent, and ultimately Brian Kelly took the call with Scott Woodward sort of as a favor to Trace Armstrong, and then things accelerated very quickly from there. Brian Kelly interviewed with Scott Woodward for the Washington job, something I didn't know. When Brian Kelly was at Cincinnati and Scott Woodward was hiring a football coach at Washington, he interviewed Brian Kelly then, so they had a little bit of knowledge of each other and rapport in the past. Anyway, this is the quote that has gotten the most attention from people outside of the athletic sector. And you probably know where this is going to go. And I'm going to try not to do the angry red face thing that happens to me sometimes when I get rolling on subjects like this. And quite honestly, I may run out of time this hour and not have time to get into an angry red-faced rant. But then again, some of y'all just like it when I scream, and so that may happen here. Here's the quote from Brian Kelly. Quote, "I loved my time at Notre Dame. I have nothing but great memories there. But the whole landscape there is different than it is here. It just is. There are priorities at Notre Dame. The architectural building needed to get built first. They ain't building the architectural building here first. We're building the athletic training facility first. And we're in the midst of a $22 million addition to our athletic training facility. It's something I said we needed, and we went and immediately raised the money." End quote. So, as a result of that, a lot of people, if you just go search, they're ripping on Brian Kelly, on LSU, on Louisiana for the priorities quote, essentially saying that LSU has its priorities out of line with football over academics. I feel like I have to say this far too often. Being a great academic school and being pot committed athletically are not mutually exclusive. You can do both. And the other thing that is so often misunderstood, the money spent to build that architectural building ain't coming from the same pot to build the athletic training facility. TAF, the Tiger Athletic Foundation, a private funded organization, is responsible for fundraising and building those athletic facilities. That's not state money. Your tax dollars are not going to build the athletic training facility. Scott Woodward and his associates got on the phone to donors and said, hey, Brian needs an athletic training facility. Are you in for $500K? You in for $1 million? Boom, boom, boom. $22 million commitment raised. Do it. Break ground. If you have a problem with that, then go find that call list to all those really wealthy people who, by the way, are probably also giving a buttload of money to the university. Different story. But you have to go find those rich people and tell them the way they're spending their money is wrong. And you know what I would tell you if I were them? Bleep you. Bleep you. Get out of my face. My money, spend it how I want. How you spend your money. I don't care how much it is. How much you spend your money. You got vices? You pull through the drive-thru? You go buy lottery tickets? You spend thousands of bucks on season tickets? You got 52 pair of sneakers you bought since Christmas? My hand's in the air. Don't want nobody coming to me tell me how I spend my money. Oh, by the way, fiscal 21-22, LSU Athletics, they commissioned a study. LSU Athletics had a $500 million impact on Louisiana's economy in fiscal 21-22. $500 million economic impact. Pull this up. $500 million economic impact. It's all spelled out there in a study done by a research firm hired by LSU. 6,174 Louisiana jobs. LSU athletics. Don't bite the hand that feeds y'all. Say it over and over again. It's like that stupid library debate a lot of you morons like to have. Bite the hand that feeds you, man. LSU athletics, when the Tigers win, provides more attention, notoriety, revenue, interest, excitement, energy around that university than anything the architectural department could do. It's not to say the architectural department isn't important. I was a student at LSU. I loved LSU. But don't get it twisted. There's a reason that investment provides a return. Idiots. All of you. Holier than thou morons in academia. Oh, the irony. All right, Sports Center, stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Mold Zero USA. Mold-ZeroUSA.com. Mold-ZeroUSA.com. Kill mold, remove odor. You know the drill. If you got mold, you got odor. Maybe it's an old closet. Maybe you own, operate a workout facility, a gym. Maybe it's a school, and the locker rooms at the school or the weight room, you walk in and you just smell that funk. Well, you know what that is? That's bacteria and odor-causing bacteria and other harmful pathogens. You want to get rid of that forever? Easy. Call Mold Zero. They'll come in, not even a full day. They'll come in, they'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. You don't need to take anything out. Just leave everything in there. Everything that fog touches, it'll kill all those harmful pathogens, completely safe. As soon as that fog dissipates, boom, you're back in. Free and clear, totally safe. It's Mold Zero. Learn more online at mold-zerousa.com. That's mold-zerousa.com. Servicing all of Louisiana, it's Mold Zero. Mold-zerousa.com.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, I'm happy to say we have vehicles in stock and more coming in at no markup. Don't pay over MSRP. Come on down to Corvell Toyota and choose your new Toyota today. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers' first season with the Jets is over after just 4 snaps. An MRI confirmed Rodgers tore his Achilles in the overtime win against the Bills on Monday Night Football. Jets will likely sign a QB, but their plan is to move forward with Zach Wilson as the starter. Unsportsmanlike co-host Chris Canty.
I don't think it's fair to dismiss the prospects of this team potentially being able to figure something out, being able to forge an identity around their third-year quarterback, Zach Wilson. And maybe it's not the quarterback being a difference maker, more of a game manager. Depending on how this thing goes and depending on how they do, they could be playing for something more important other than moral victories.
In the aftermath of the Rodgers injury, Caesar Sportsbook moved the Jets' Super Bowl odds to win to 50-1. According to a racial discrimination lawsuit filed against the NFL by longtime reporter Jim Trotter, Bills owner Terry Pegula allegedly made a racist comment about black players in the league in 2020 to another reporter. Pegula has denied making the comment, said in a statement, racism has no place in our society, and he is disgusted that his name is associated with the complaint.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Feinswog in about 15 minutes. Talk beer. Sean Salisbury next hour. Ocho is in. You see that? All right, Paulie sees it. Ocho is in. I was a little nervous. All right, so as a refresher, back in July, Chad Johnson, a.k.a. Ocho Cinco, quote tweeted, and I think it was an official NFL tweet, asking for predictions on what Derek Carr's stats will be. Well, Ocho was very bullish. Said 38 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 4,700 yards. And then I did a bit here. What did we say? We're like, well, if Ocho gets to make unrealistic predictions, so will I. I said something like I'll join Troy Polamalu and Patrick Mahomes as a spokesman for Head and Shoulders. Did we do anything else? Anything else?
I was out of town.
Oh, you weren't here?
Yeah, I wasn't here for that bit.
This?
Well, I missed the bit. I was here for the everything that followed.
So we tweet the video of me basically poking fun at Ocho's prediction. He replies. And so then he and I started back and forth. He's like, let's make a bet. I'm like, I love bets as long as you're not Dwayne from Thibodeau. So our bet came down to if I win, the Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, has to fly to Baton Rouge and co-host my show for a day. So he and I will do the show for a day. If he wins, we're going to go set up shop, do AFR at Don Juan Cigar Bar, and we will feature his cigar brand the entire show. So if you're not familiar, he's got a cigar brand. It's 85 cigars. Is that it? Or 85 cigars? I'm looking for it. I want to make sure I have it correct. 85 cigars. That's it. So you spell out 80, EIGHTY, the numeral 5 cigars. That's where they are on Twitter. Anyway, so after 1 week, we have an update on the wager. Remember, Derek Carr has to average, to hit 4,700 yards, he's got to average like 275 a game.
Yep.
305 game 1. So Derek Carr hits the passing yardage for game 1. He got some work to do in the other categories, all right? He said 38 tuds for Derek Carr. He had 1 on Sunday. So Derek Carr needs to hit 37 touchdown passes in 16 games. Doable?
I think it's doable. Sure. I mean, I don't think it's likely, but I think it's doable. He could do that.
And then he only has 5 more interceptions of grace period. He had 6. Ocho said 6 interceptions on the season. He's already got 1. So I think that may be the one that is Ocho's undoing. Can we agree? I think the interceptions is going to – really lowballed that.
That's the tough mark there. Let's see. Derek Carr's thrown 6 interceptions once in his career. It was 2016. Every other year has been more than that.
I mean, he basically has to have a career year.
Yes.
Which was the whole point of it. So I think he had a very good year, but I don't think he's hitting those numbers. So I think Ocho's coming in, man. I'm excited about this. Really excited.
It's going to be fun.
We got work to do.
We do. It's a long year, right?
It's a long year. Got work to do. But those interceptions are going to be 6 interceptions. Come on. That's really what's going to get him. I think he's got a great shot to get the passing yardage. I don't think he throws for 38 touchdowns. And there's no way. I mean, 6 interceptions. I mean, on the season? Come on. Okay. It's after further review. All right, so we'll keep you updated each week as the season goes along. Almost like the Iowa, like Brian Ferentz.
Yeah.
Right, the little yodeler. How close is he to the scoring average? We'll keep you updated every week here on after the Saints play on Ocho's bet here. So we'll tweet out the graphic as well. So if you want to check it out and follow along, make sure you're following on Twitter. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. You want to look and feel like your younger self, they can help. Hormone replacement therapy could be the perfect solution for you. If you want to sleep better at night, you want to wake up feeling refreshed, you want to go to the gym and get results, you want to be able to burn fat, build muscle, hormone replacement therapy could be the unlock. It's affordable. It's safe. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. Little breaking news real quick. Literally this just popped up on my Twitter as I was doing that read there. The Cincinnati Bengals have released Lyle Collins. Of course, he was one of their free agent acquisitions a year ago. He's battled injuries. He started the season on the PUP list, and now after week 1, Lyle Collins has been released by the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll see where he lands. If it's maybe just as they maneuver the roster a little bit, they waive and then re-sign him. It could be one of those things, but they have released Lyle Collins, former LSU Tiger. Muse will have more on that on Tigers and the Pros coming up later this hour. All right, it's after further review. The Saints on Monday will head to Carolina, take on the Panthers. And, you know, one of the things we talk about often is how narratives become accepted as fact. And then people who have accepted those narratives as their truth only then seek affirmation. You only point out the thing that affirms your belief, and you ignore any evidence that points to the contrary. For a long time, it was the Saints don't draft LSU players. The Saints hate LSU players. There were plenty of instances where the Saints signed LSU players to undrafted free agent contracts. They brought them in as free agents. There's plenty of examples of that. And there were LSU Tigers that were drafted, but you also could look at other places and say, well, how often do the Atlanta Falcons draft Georgia Bulldogs? How often do the Miami Dolphins draft Miami Hurricanes? It's not as common. There has to be a guy on the board at a position you seek, where you have them graded, needed. It's just, it doesn't always work out that way. But people believe that narrative and accept it as reality and only point to affirming information. I think something else we've seen in that respect for a lot of years is this belief among Saints fans that the Saints do terribly against rookie quarterbacks. So when you look at having to face Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud this year, there's probably a lot of nervous Saints fans. Look, 1999, when the reincarnation of the Cleveland Browns, Tim Couch got his first win on a Hail Mary in 1999 in the Dome. Rookie quarterback. RG3, 2012. We all, unfortunately, remember that game where the Redskins came in the season opener and won 40-32. And RG3 was awesome in that game. He threw for 320 yards. 2015, rookie Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 2 won in the Superdome. Another rookie quarterback. Jalen Hurts as a rookie in 2020. He didn't particularly have a great day, but the Eagles beat the Saints up in Philly in 2020. So there's this belief sort of that the Saints struggle against rookie quarterbacks. However, and a hat tip to StatMuse via SaintsWire. So I think SaintsWire got the info from StatMuse and published it. That's where I saw it. I always give attribution. Last year, the Saints were 2-1 against rookie quarterbacks. They lost to Kenny Pickett. Since 2017, right? That was the year where they drafted Lattimore and Ramczyk, really when the turnaround began after the back-to-back-to-back 7-9 season. So since 2016, the Saints are 15-6 against rookie quarterbacks. And if you go back to 2006, Sean Payton's first year, the Saints are 39-19 against rookie quarterbacks. Basically, 2/3 of their games against rookie quarterbacks, they win. So you're going to face Bryce Young twice this year. You're going to face C.J. Stroud, and you're going to face Anthony Richardson. You should win 3 of those 4. You should. You should win 3 of those 4. Now, 3 of the 4 are on the road. You're at Carolina this week. You're at Houston. You're at Indy. And you get Carolina at home later in the year. But Bryce Young in week 1, 20 of 38 for $146, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Listen, his coach, Frank Reich, Monday talked about his rookie quarterback, Bryce Young's first game in the NFL.
I think Bryce played well. I thought he threw the ball away a couple times. I think he had probably 3 or 4 throwaways where he's not taking sacks over the long haul. That's going to help us as a team. It's going to help us stay in phase and not take sacks. It's going to help him stay healthy. You know, those throwaways don't help your stats, but they sure help our football team, and I thought he did a great job with that. And I thought he threw the ball accurately. And like I said, you know, we had the 2 interceptions. The one I don't put on him at all, but the second one was kind of couple different factors, but sure, can we all get better? Can I get better? Can Bryce? Yeah, we can all get better, but I thought overall he played solid football.
A Saints defense that just scored 3 interceptions in week 1 and a run defense that proved to be pretty stout against Derrick Henry in the second half. That is a really tough ask for Bryce Young against that Saints defense we saw on Sunday coming up on Monday Night Football. You got to love the Saints' opportunity to go to Carolina and get a win. Yes, even though they're facing a rookie quarterback, which, as the stats show, isn't as daunting as you may think. All right, let's talk some beer. Lee Feinswog next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers. Speaking of beer, Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana, with 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, tonight and every Tuesday. Kids eat free. So, moms and dads, you want to have a family night tonight to where you can all go out, have fun, and do it affordably? Pluckers. For every adult entree, kid eats free. So, go to Pluckers tonight. Mom and dad, buy your entrees. Kids eat free at Pluckers every Tuesday. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. It's always a great night to get by Pluckers. Hey, remember, every Tuesday at the Nicholson location, Hunt Palmer hosts sports trivia. That's at 8:30. So get your team together, get on by, test your sports knowledge, win Pluckers gift cards, spin the prize wheel, win Amazon gift cards, other great prizes from local retailers. It's at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
is a taco more than just a taco when it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front to back.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, cruising through a Tuesday. Lee Feinswog's with us. Hi, Lee. How are you?
Oh, it's the most wonderful time of year, Matt. You know why?
I mean, I could take a guess.
You're going to say football season. Or,
No, knowing you, I would think you were going to say Oktoberfest beers.
Bam!
Got it, didn't
Bam!
I know you so well. I know you so well. You can't slip that one past me. I've known you too long.
Oh, man. They're out there. Oh, it's so good. So good.
I understand we have a good one today to talk about.
Oh, yeah. And you know, it's probably the same group of beers we talked about last year, but it's okay. It's a year later, and it's Oktoberfest.
It is
so good. Oh, sorry.
No, please, by all means, your show. Go ahead.
Oh, finally, you're getting it. I won the bet in my family for LSU Grambling. I told Brenda, said, "What do you think?" I said, "I'll give you Grambling in 62.5." I swear I said that. and so I lost the bet by half a point.
Wait, did she take the bet?
Oh yeah, for $1.
Oh, got it. Do you like those games? Do you see the merit in them?
Oh, I do for the little schools because they get a payday. And here's the thing. Now that we're going to the Power 4 next year, what is going to happen with those games? Well, what I hope happens is that they don't get played anymore because only Power 4 teams should be allowed to play Power 4 teams. And that's just the way you want to cut it down to this. This is what you wanted. Well, let's have it be and have every game count. On the other hand, it's a shame because the Western Carolinas and Gramblings and Southerns of the world are going to lose these massive paydays. You know, they make an entire athletic budget by agreeing to get killed at LSU or Georgia or wherever. And It's really important for them, and those kids who get thrown into the mix. It's been a long time since I asked any of them what they think. Are you glad to go play in that environment and get this opportunity, or how do you feel on Monday, and was it worth it? Because you have to assume that not only did Grambling lose by 62, not 62 and a half, but you got some beat up kids, because the reason that they're at Grambling and not at LSU is because they're smaller. And it's generally the reason.
And it is worth noting, in total sincerity and respect for the young man that was, I don't know if you saw the part of the game, but there was a young man from Grambling who left on a stretcher. And
no, I did not.
And they did give an update. Grambling released an update that he's doing well. He had to undergo a procedure, and he was cared for greatly at Our Lady of the Lake. And so, in all seriousness, I know that's not where you were going with it, but
I didn't even know that.
No,
I'm glad for you to tell me. But I mean, basically, you're taking one for the team, and in this case, not just the team, the whole athletic department.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, of course, every few years, somebody gets bit in the ass by it because we gave them all this money and they beat us. How dare they? The most famous one probably was App State over Michigan at the time, but that happens. I was surprised. I did not watch this game, but I was surprised to see how effectively Grambling ran the ball according to the stats. And I don't know if that's any reason for LSU to be concerned or not.
Yeah. They had a couple of they had really two long runs on 3rd and long where Brian Kelly said LSU was in dime coverage expecting a pass, and they ran and broke a couple tackles and ripped off big runs. The LSU pass defense is more the concern and continues to be. But oddly, you're going to play Mississippi State where, Lee, if Mike Leach was still there, I'd be terrified of this game because LSU's known biggest weakness is their secondary, and if Leach was going to go throw the ball 50, 60 times, I'd be terrified of that. But that ain't what they do anymore. So if they're going to run a more traditional offense, it's less daunting going on the road to play State, I guess.
Yes. Well, State crushed Southeastern Louisiana to open, and then
but that was actually
to beat Arizona.
That was slow. I know you didn't watch that game, but they was slow to get started in that ball game offensively, and then they got their groove in the second half. But and the Arizona game was atrocious. Arizona had 4 turnovers in that game. And State still needed overtime to beat them. It was State's not good, man. That's not a good team.
No, I was just going to say, is there any reason to think that LSU won't beat State?
Well, sure, because you're going on the road at 11 a.m. and the SEC's tough and upsets happen, and they've got a good quarterback in Will Rogers. And, I once watched a Curly Holman-coached LSU team go on the road and beat Alabama, the defending national champion. So, crazy things happen. Upsets. It's college football.
That's the second Hudson Hallman reference that came up in the last few days. So I was out in California for the weekend, and our flight from Atlanta to San Francisco on Thursday was booked solid. When I booked the tickets way back when, I had choice of seats, everything was fine. And then surveying, it was like, it's totally sold out. And it was a big plane.
Okay.
Because Auburn was playing at Cal.
Mm.
And the Auburn faithful filled up that plane, and most of those same people were on the same flight back. They were very well behaved, though.
Good.
Very nice, civilized Auburn fans.
What did that have to do with Curly Holman?
Somewhere in that, with a conversation with an Auburn fan, Curly Holman's name came up.
Okay. The other reason it's relevant, Lee, is that the last time LSU scored 70 in regulation, obviously not the 7 overtime game against A&M, but 70 in regulation, was 1991 against Arkansas State when LSU was coached by Curly Holman.
Wow.
How about that?
That's good stuff. That's good trivia. I like that kind of stuff.
I got trivia for you. I got nuggets. That's what I got here.
Yeah, you are.
Do you love going to Starkville, cowbells and all that stuff?
I do not like it at all. The first time I went there, and I was thinking about this because I knew you would probably. And every time you do this, some State fan will drop a note, or there they go making fun of Starkville again. Now they even have one of their tournaments. They could actually call it the Stark Vegas something. But in some sport, maybe even get ready volleyball.
Hey,
Classic or something. But
sorry.
the first time I went there was with LSU basketball when Shaquille was playing, and it was a remarkably racist crowd. There was even a blow-up gorilla doll making fun of Shaquille. My other subsequent trips there seemed much more subdued and acceptable, if you will. But the last time I did go, and this is a very, very long time ago, I drove I had gone somewhere and drove in the 2-lane road that you go to the game, and LSU was playing at State. And it just took forever, behind a tractor or two, behind cars that were old and dumpy. And you weave through, and I finally got to the place near the stadium that was the media lot. And I pull in, and I pop the trunk, and I go around the back, and this car next to me unloads, and this little girl wearing a State cheerleader outfit, she probably was like 5 or 6. She reaches up and shakes a cowbell in my face. And I said, I am never coming back to this place ever again.
I wonder if that was a young Rivers Huey. Might have been. Our friend and noted State alum. So you can't dump on State without getting a little pushback there.
That's okay.
Hey, all right, 2 more things. Number 1, Coach Prime, thoughts?
Good for him. You know, football coaches are always just blockheads. Do it if it goes a different way and it works and you break the norms. I don't know enough about the way he took over and the kids he cut loose. I hope he didn't yank scholarships away from good people who were doing the right things, but it sounded like he cleaned house and brought in a bunch of his own people. Evidently his son being his quarterback, that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if his practices are open or how he does things, but it seems kind of fun and refreshing, kind of different,
Yes.
You all right with that?
I love it. I mean,
yeah.
I always say that I want coaches to be more like boxers, MMA fighters, or professional wrestlers. Like it's way more interesting. Stop being.
Or be more like basketball coaches, although they've become, more like football coaches. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last thing, did you hear at the end of the hour how those people were scoffing at the Brian Kelly quote about the difference in the standard at Notre Dame and LSU, but building the architecture building first at Notre Dame, and here they build the athletic training facility?
Yeah. So this is not a simple situation with what 1 or 2 quotes summing it up. Ever since the time of the gladiators, our priorities have always been skewered. All right. The gladiators made the most money, and they made more than the doctors and teachers. Just like now, people who are rock stars or movie stars or athletes make way more than the doctors and the teachers and the other people. And you come from a family of educators, so you know what I'm talking about. But that's just the way of the world. We live in a supply and demand world. The priorities are skewered, but that's just the way it is and always will be. So, what was the quote that he was saying the quiet part out loud? Yeah. So, the other side of it is that if you're a university, you should try to be the best that you can be in everything that you do.
Yes.
And whether that's athletics or math, or whether it's the debate team or chemistry research, you should try to be the best that you can be. But to deny that the priorities are really skewered would be naive. I mean, you and I have had the argument before, and you've maintained, and I can't argue with you, that very rich people are entitled to do with whatever they like with their money.
Yes.
And so if they want to give oodles of millions of dollars to have an expensive football coach or top facilities in athletics, certainly they're right. The story of the library at LSU was well documented about how they've got plastic put up because it rains and leaks on stuff.
That's not a rich guy, that's not a rich guy or a football problem. That's a Louisiana legislature problem.
Well, I'm just throwing out the different concepts of it all, and so it's not as simple. It's this way or that way situation.
But it's a red herring. To point that out in conjunction with football is a red herring, Lee. That's the problem with it. Because you would have to go.
You're pointing it out. No, you're saying football. I'm saying where the money goes and who makes more and why. We're a supply and demand, and it might have even been Bear Bryant said something like, "Nobody pays to go see the math teacher teach."
True.
That's just the way the world is and society is, always has been, and always will be.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Well, I don't know how I don't know how much it feeds that academic side, although it does feed it some.
An enormous amount. Are you kidding me? How every year
less than it did.
When athletics is good, you see enrollment go up, you see admissions go up, you see everything.
Right. When a team wins a national championship in football or basketball, those things are true. And that goes back to my point, which says if you're a university, you should try to do with what you can the best you can do.
And when
in the cases of the Power Fours and the upper echelon of the Power Fours, they spend more money on athletics, specifically football, than other things.
Go look at Alabama's campus. Go look at the city. Go look at the city of Tuscaloosa. How much growth and prosperity, which is a direct correlation to the success of the football program under Nick Saban.
Matt, where did my daughter go to school?
Somewhere to
Alabama.
play soccer.
That's right, Alabama.
She went to University of Stacey went to University of Alabama.
She did.
I didn't know that.
She did.
Well, good for her.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, but at Division III Berry College, where Kirk Feinswog played basketball, they did not was in NAIA at the time. We didn't have a priority problem. There was no football.
You know what the priority is? You know what the priority is?
Still on the. Yeah, I know where you're going with this. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
The priority is beer. 'Cause we're late.
What's the malted liquor? What gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, beer. But I'd rather chug it. Beer. Got my belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. Beer. I could really use a beer. Beer. Beer.
Matt, if Samuel Adams has as good a 23 as it did at 22, we are all in luck. And it's off to a great start. Oh, my gosh. The Sam Adams Oktoberfest, it is beautiful, the most beautiful brown Marzahn color, and it is a Marzahn, 5.3% alcohol. It tastes so good. It's the first of the Oktoberfest that I've had. I've got a bunch. My man Joey brought a few over today, and it is just, it's the best time of the year. Oktoberfest, Marzahns, the deep red amber color, and the taste. And if you go to Mississippi State this week, and if they happen to sell any there, my guess, I looked it up, the weather is actually only going to be in the mid to low 80s
Okay.
for football. That'll be like Antarctica.
Boy,
that's gonna
be awesome. I'm so fired up right now for beer season and football season and all the stuff that goes along with it. All right, Sports Monday is the show. He is Larry Feinstein.
Go to sports225.com for all the gory details. And thank you, Matt Moscona.
Sports Monday.
Bye.
Larry, Sports Monday. Thank you. That is Lee Feinswog of Sports 225. It's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Our Tuesday shows, of course, are powered by Sunshine. Love telling you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. 31 offices across 11 different states. You know where to find them online at Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Pretty excited. A little bit later next month, I'll be down in Knoll at their Harahan office for the ribbon cutting on their new precision measurement calibration lab at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. 31 different offices across 11 different states. Hey, if you're looking for work from sea to shining sea, from Florida, throughout the Panhandle, the southern states, Texas, all the way up to California, Oregon, they got offices all over the country. If you're looking for a career instead of a job, our friends at Michelli want to talk to you. They got a great program as well for veterans through the Department of Defense. So maybe you're still active duty military, or maybe you're already back in civilian life. Michelli can help you. Go to the careers tab at the top of the website, and you'll see all the info there, how you can go to work for a great company that's been around for more than 75 years. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back. We've got Tigers and the Pros in about 15 minutes from right now. Disappointing break for the Carolina Panthers before their Monday Night Football game with the Saints. Talk about that next at AFR.
AFR.
Officially, it's a fridge full of beer.
unofficially, it's free AC. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, glad you're rolling with us. Muso will have Tigers and the Pros coming up shortly. News just a bit ago, if you missed it. Lyle Collins reportedly released by the Bengals after starting the season on the PUP list. But Ben Baby from ESPN.com, who covers the Bengals, says that was not part of the official transaction wire today. So we'll wait on official word there. But that's the report, is that Lyle was released. We'll get to the latest as we have it. Saints are headed to Carolina for Monday Night Football. And Frank Reich, when he was meeting with reporters on Monday, gave an update on their star cornerback, J.C. Horn, who left the game against Atlanta in the first half with an injury. Here was the update Monday.
Just to confirm, J.C. Horn did have the hamstring, so we'll continue to evaluate the severity of that and the timetable of that. But Troy played well.
So he's got a hamstring. I'm not sure if you caught it. Can we hear that again? He's got a hamstring?
Just to confirm, J.C. Horn did have the hamstring.
Okay, he did. This is past tense. He did have a hamstring, but he no longer has a hamstring? Is that what I'm to understand?
No, he still has the hamstring.
What I heard was past tense.
I got it.
JC had a hamstring.
But they're also going to continue to evaluate the timetable there. So I think he still has the hamstring.
Maybe they're going to put a new hamstring in?
They could, but he didn't mention anything about surgery.
And what about two hamstrings? Because I would think you'd have two legs, two hamstrings, but instead it seems like he maybe just has one because he said he had a hamstring.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he just means he injured. He has an injury to the hamstring.
Okay. So you're clarifying. For Frank Reich. Thank you.
I'm clarifying his confirmation.
Got it. Carolina was 22nd in the NFL in pass defense a year ago. Not good. And they lost week 1 to Atlanta. Now, Desmond Ridder didn't tear it up. He was 15 of 18 for 115 yards and a touchdown. This is indicative of what this division is going to be. You understand. It's why all of us really were very bullish on the Saints to win this division. Desmond Ridder was 15 of 18 for 115. Bryce Young was 20 of 38 for 146, a touchdown, 2 picks. Just not great. I mean, Bijan Robinson was the leading receiver with 6 catches for Atlanta. It's kind of stunning, but it's just the situation that the league is in right now. And this is a different challenge now for that Carolina defense. You're without J.C. Horn, and you're not facing Desmond Ridder. You're facing Derek Carr and Michael Thomas and Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and a whole Juwan Johnson and a very talented Saints offense that can sling it around. And now you're going to do it without J.C. Horn. By the way, so in the what Frank Reich said there, confirming that JC had a hamstring. What you didn't hear in the cut is that they have officially ruled JC Horn out against the Saints. He's expected to miss several weeks. He has missed 18 games so far in his early career. As a rookie in 2021, played in just 3 games. A year ago, played in 13 games, and now in his 3rd year there in Carolina, played in the opener, was injured, and J.C. Horn, unfortunately, just can't stay healthy. It's kind of similar of what we're talking about with a guy like Peyton Turner. I mean, I don't know that the player is doing anything wrong. Some guys are just injury prone, and unfortunately for J.C. Horn, that seems to be the case. Now for the Saints, the good news here is that Troy Hill is replacing J.C. Horn. Troy Hill's 32 years old. Came into the NFL out of Oregon. Sick neck tattoo as well. One that comes like from his chest up his neck. Sick. Anyway, how about this unfortunate stroke of bad luck? So he came into the league, Troy Hill did, in 2015 with the Bengals. He played with the Rams 2016, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 5 years with the Rams. 2021, he went to Cleveland. Remember what happened with the Rams in 2021? Yeah, they won the Super Bowl. And you know where Troy Hill went in 2022? Back to the Rams. He went 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 Rams, went to Cleveland in 21, back to the Rams in 22, just missed the Super Bowl. So that sucks, unfortunate. But he's in Carolina now. Look, he's 5'10". He's a veteran player who's played 98 career games. He's got 8 career interceptions, but mostly he has been a backup and a guy that has been a special teams guy and a pretty good reserve. But, man, if you're going to throw Troy Hill out there in place of J.C. Horn against this Saints passing offense and that group of receivers, that's unenviable. So, if anything, you just like the Saints' opportunity even more on Monday Night Football. A very active defense going against a rookie quarterback. A Saints offense that has got a plethora of weapons in Carolina. Looks like they're going to be without their best cornerback. You got to like the Saints' opportunity going into Carolina on Monday Night Football to start this season 2-0. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here as always. Sean Salisbury in about 15 minutes from right now. You want to bet on the NFL, of course, DraftKings is the best place to do that. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Remember, use the promo code Baton Rouge. We're heading into week 2 of the NFL now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 bet on the NFL in week 2, and they'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So if you want to bet on the Saints, Panthers, or you want to see if Joey B and the Bengals are going to get right against the Ravens, you can bet on it all at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Prop bets, future bets, it's all there for you. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 NFL bet, and they'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms. Licensed partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, y'all. We're going to knock out our final break here of hour number 2. We'll come back. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros, and we'll get to Sean Salisbury. A lot of ground I want to cover. Want to talk about the college game, what LSU is facing going into Starkville against a new-look Mississippi State offense. Certainly want to ask about the rest of the SEC West, and namely if Jalen Milroe is salvageable in Tuscaloosa. And we will get to the NFL as well, how the rookie quarterbacks did, Derek Carr's debut in New Orleans. What should the Jets do now without Aaron Rodgers? We'll get into all that with Sean Salisbury coming up after the top of the hour. Tigers and the Pros is next on AFR.
AFR.
I want to take a quick second to remind you about ProCharge, ProChargeEV.com. It's funny, I just got an email, literally just got an email into my inbox about how CATS, the Capital Area Transit System in Baton Rouge, just purchased 6 new electric buses. Y'all, I know I say it every day, but I'm just going to keep saying it. It doesn't matter if you drive an EV. It doesn't matter if you like EVs. It doesn't matter if you have questions about EVs. None of that matters. There are so many people who are. And so they have to have a place to charge them. And ProCharge is provides electric vehicle chargers for your home or your office building. So if you have a commercial building, you got to have EV chargers. Like there is a world in the not too distant future where every single public building is going to have EV chargers. Get on the front of that curve. ProCharge can show you how. They're local in Baton Rouge. ProChargeEV.com. ProChargeEV.com. Electric vehicle chargers for your home or office. ProChargeEV.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of Front to Back Boat Service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-26.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, let's start with Monday Night Football last night. You know what? This is one of my favorite guys to shout out in Tigers in the pros. I just love that he's still doing it. Al Woods for the New York Jets last night. Wasn't a stat-stuffing night, but he got his when he was in there. It was one tackle, but it was a sack for Al Woods. Still affecting the quarterback. Had a great career. Super Bowl. Loved it. He just keeps floating around. You can't get rid of that Al Woods. I love to see it. I really do.
The Saints did.
The Saints did, but, I mean, I think he would speak fondly of his time in New Orleans. No, you don't?
No.
Okay. Well, you know, I mean.
They drafted him in the 4th round and cut him.
You're right. Yeah.
It didn't go well here.
But still.
He caught on later.
Yeah, but still. It's the team that drafted him.
Still what?
You know.
They cut him.
Something just tells me Al Woods, big Saints guy.
Not a big Saints guy.
Tre'Davious White last night for
also not a big Saints guy.
No, he's not. He is not. No, he's a big Buffalo Bills guy though. 3 tackles last night in the ball game, including one for a loss for Trey White there. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. Injuries really creeped up on him the last couple of seasons. Baseball. Day baseball today. The rivalry, Sox and Yankees. Little doubleheader action. Got rained out at Fenway Park yesterday. DJ LeMahieu 1 for 4 today in a Yankees victory. How about that? Their second win against the Red Sox all year. 1 for 4, his 20th double of the year. It also drove in a run, and DJ would come around to score a run on said double at the top of that order.
I'm unmoved by your subtle shot.
I don't know what you're talking about. And back to the NFL with some transactions. Matt, you've been talking about the La'el Collins thing. That's really interesting. So released, not released, started the season on PUP. People say he's released. They've reported that, but he's not on the official transaction wire. For what it's worth, when you get the final resolution of that, I don't think he'll be gone for long. This is a guy who started 15 games last year for Cincinnati. So whether they're just moving him around or if somebody wants to pick him up in free agency after he comes off of PUP, definitely somebody who can still play. Started double-digit games the last, 5 years in the NFL, 10 being the low number there. So definitely still plenty left in the tank for a guy like La'el Collins. The Saints transaction wire today includes John Trey Kirkland, who has been cut from the practice squad. He now becomes a free agent. That's kind of been the story of the career for John Trey Kirkland, emergency quarterback extraordinaire John Trey Kirkland. Just a lot of practice squad, a lot of XFL action. Was with the Cardinals for a time. Has yet to appear in a game in the NFL regular season. But we'll see what the next move is for the former Tiger. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, with 2 locations in Baton Rouge, Corporate Boulevard, right there in Bocage, and in the Mall of Louisiana, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and always online at LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you're thinking of popping the question, thrill her with a gift in the red box where you always get a beautiful diamond that will thrill her and make her the envy of her friends as well. and you always get the Lee Michaels experience. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, let's have to further review. Bummer about Aaron Rodgers' injury is that's certainly been a huge national talking point. We opened the show today talking a little bit about how that may impact the Saints because Jameis Winston is one of the names that's being rumored to potentially be a target for the Jets if they decide to add some depth behind Zach Wilson, so we'll follow that. Real quick, of course, every Tuesday we're brought to you by Sunshine, and one of the really cool things that they're doing for future farmers of America is they are raffling off a Saints Gator, a John Deere Gator. If you go to the website, it's sunequip.com, and you scroll down, you'll see win this Saints Gator. You tap it, you can find out how you can buy raffle tickets to win that Saints Gator courtesy of Sunshine. Sunequip.com. Hour number 3 next.
AFR.
All right, y'all, we'll put a button on hour 2. Love telling you about Relief Windows. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. They do it all over at Relief Windows. And now, of course, Relief Windows is also indoor shutters. So here's what I recommend you do. If you're thinking about adding those indoor shutters, first of all, do it. They're gorgeous and they're high quality. Go to the website, reliefwindows.com. There is a Shutters tab at the top. Click the Shutters tab, and then as you scroll down, you'll see all the information about the quality and the superior comfort, all the professional installation that comes there that's custom to your home, custom sizes available, multiple trim options. You can see it all there at reliefwindows.com, and you get a limited lifetime warranty as well on their indoor shutters. So learn more. Yes, they are windows door siding. They are also indoor shutters, and at Relief Windows, they are experience, quality, and most of all, service. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is #1, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. After losing quarterback Aaron Rodgers to a torn Achilles for the rest of the season, Jets coach Robert Saleh today gave Zach Wilson a strong endorsement as their new starter. Saleh emphasized Wilson's the new QB1. Nobody will be brought in to compete with the former first-round pick. And that is the correct call for the Jets, believes ESPN's Robert Griffin III.
If I'm Robert Saleh, this guy gives me the best chance to win because he knows the offense. He has the relationships. He knows the camaraderie within that building, and he's improved upon that. Don't go bring a guy in that's going to be a distraction and let it be lended that, hey, we don't believe in this guy because we're going to go sign this high-profile guy off the field.
Prosecutors revealed at today's arraignment of Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr. that his alleged attack on his girlfriend at a New York City hotel left the woman with a fractured neck vertebra and a cut above her right eye. He is charged with felony assault and strangulation. Rockets aren't allowed to punish Porter while the NBA conducts its own investigation. Ohio State named quarterback Kyle McCord its starter the remainder of the season. Buckeyes 2-0 to begin this season with McCord as their starter.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock. Quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Lock loaded, a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here. And we are thrilled that every Tuesday throughout this season again, we get to visit with our friend Sean Salisbury, talk a little college, a little NFL, and we're going to do that now. Sean, we appreciate it as always, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me, buddy?
Loud and clear, man. I love. So we're looking.
Nice.
Look at us moving on up in the world.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm not exactly a technology maven, so I'm sitting here. It's a good thing I'm not slinging F-bombs in the background thinking, can they see me? But here I am, brother.
Hey, man, do you care if we take your video as well?
No, do you want to?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I can see you. Paul, can you see him? Okay, yeah, no. So we can take your videos. I just didn't know. I didn't want to put you on camera.
Oh, no. I'm okay. Can you see me?
Yeah, we got you, man. We're good. We're good. You sound great. We're looking good. So we're trying to are we doing Teams, Paulie, or is it we're doing a Teams call with Sean? So this is the first time we've done this. So it'll be better audio. And look, there's Sean right there. I tell you what, the power of technology is an amazing thing. Hey, man, I don't want to bury the lead. I got a lot of college stuff I want to talk to you, but I don't want to bury the lead because the biggest story in the sports world today is Aaron Rodgers. Let me just start with a big picture reaction from you on, very obviously, no Aaron Rodgers. What does this mean for the Jets in the landscape of the AFC?
Well, it goes from a Super Bowl caliber team, and Matty, I think when you watched the defense last night, that was pretty evident, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen this movie on teams before. They line up and they are skilled. The running backs, they're deep. They can hit a home run from there. Even though, and Rodgers also saves them, he doesn't hold the ball long, so he can make up for a few protection woes. If you're giving up, if there's easy pressures, his whole career, he's been able to get you out of those by getting rid of the ball and beating you with the throw, like we've seen Marino in the past do. And it reminds me when the Bears were undefeated going down to Miami and Marino spread them out and they blitzed them still when they shouldn't have, they should have been able to adjust, and Miami didn't play into their game, and Dan just beat the extra guy with the throw because they released. So they go from a Super Bowl team to, I still think, a playoff team if Zach Wilson's just decent. But the problem is that's a brutal division. Yeah. And you've got Miami's high-powered, and the defense will be tested there. So if you're playing in a low-scoring game, let's say your defense rears its head like it did with Josh Allen last night, and you'll have to play Buffalo again and
can you outscore even somebody in a low-scoring game? Now, Zach Wilson's loaded with ability. And, Matty, you've heard me talk about Drew. You saw Brock Purdy. I told you last week, I've always believed this, make the ordinary play. If you'll make the ordinary play all the time, you will survive in this league. And Purdy does it well with some underrated athleticism. So can Zach Wilson, who does not make the ordinary play, and you saw it last night, tries to throw it through three guys, throws a pick, and then it's falling down, makes a spectacular play on third down. But it's the little stuff. And will Hackett believe that he can let the governor off and get the ball to Wilson on the outside because they've got perimeter people? So I got to find out what Zach Wilson's learned over the next few weeks, the last few years. And if he has and can make the simple play, they'll be in every game as long as he doesn't throw it to the other team. And if he doesn't do that, they can. But I think they go from a Super Bowl team, caliber team, to a team that is going to have to battle to get in the playoffs because that defense will keep them alive.
Hey, Sean, there's been talk, obviously, about the Jets adding another quarterback. One of the names that you see bandied about is potential trade with the Saints for Jameis Winston. Does that make sense?
I think it does. There's a couple guys I was thinking about today, Matt. And by the way, I'm sickened for Aaron Rodgers. No matter how you feel about him in Green Bay or how you feel about his personality, the guy's a hell of a player, and we always want our best out there. And what a bummer 4 plays in to have that happen, because I've shredded my knee a couple times, Matty, and I can tell you this, that the Achilles from buddies I've been around that have been on teams is worse now than ACLs are. So you're not going to see him for a year if it's as bad as most Achilles are, and it's going to be a while. And I hope he gets back in full strength. Jameis Winston. I was thinking about that on my show this morning too, with Case Keenum and Davis Mills. What makes sense is to go find a veteran who you can afford, that you've got 2 or 3 quarterbacks on your roster. The third one is Case Keenum here. Jameis Winston obviously would like to start, and that's a good team. The question there is, a lot like Zach Wilson, while Jameis is a better player and he's been in the league longer, you throw it to the wrong team too often, and that drives good defensive teams crazy. So if he can go there, and we saw a little bit of him protecting the ball, and we talked about the over-protection when Jameis had his first year of starting when Drew Brees left. So what Jameis will you get? But it does make sense, a veteran who can get the ball to their explosive wideouts. Yes, and then I think, is it Davis Mills? You should have called about Davis Mills or Case Keenum. Veterans who don't cost you a lot of money that can go in there and play if Zach doesn't work out or if he's injured. But you got to protect yourself, because that roster, after squeezing out that unbelievable win, that roster can win a lot of games if the quarterback doesn't hurt you. You don't even need to help me a ton. You just can't hurt me if I got a defense that good.
What about Tom Brady?
I thought about that today too, and we joked about it, and it was tongue-in-cheek, but there's a part of me that reaches down and say, well, let's see now. New York, San Francisco connection, that he talked about in the past. They're really good. He's not going to lose. He's playing in the division, and that'd be cool for him, even though it was in Miami he was going to play for, and then New England, and he looks like he's in shape. Now, I don't know if Tom would go away from this twice in a row, but of all the names we named, I know he takes care of himself, and he can grasp an offense. I mean, if he's the guy to go after, and he's probably not going to say he got enough money at Fox waiting on him. He's probably not going to ask for a lot. He'd probably be a pretty good bargain price for a 7-time Super Bowl champion. If you could convince him, I'll tell you what, I'd call him. I would say, dude, come give me a year, just a year, and let's go. And damn well 75% of Tom's Brady better than probably the 3 names we named at 100% are pretty close.
No doubt.
No doubt. Yep.
The memes of Tom Brady in a Jets uniform are pretty hilarious.
Oh, it's friggin' priceless, and it's I would say I'd be really surprised, but I'm not shocked in sports anymore with it. Yeah. And some guys, it's like a coach. When he's out of it for a couple of years, they always want to go back and coach, and they're broadcasting. Sean Payton's one, and Gruden wanted to come back, although it was a while. There's part of me that thinks once a quarterback, always a quarterback, and you don't have many opportunities, and he's had 23 years of them. Maybe he'll squeeze a 24th out of it. I don't think that's going to happen, but they can win with him. I can tell you that. They could still win with him.
Sean, before we grab our first break, I'd love a thought on Derek Carr's debut, but then also, look, the Saints are going to go take on Bryce Young in Carolina on Monday Night Football. So we saw all the rookies make their debut. You saw CJ there in Houston, and then Anthony Richardson up in Indy. Maybe a thumbnail on those three rookies and their debuts.
Yeah, I'll start here in CJ. The thing I was impressed with is the way he dealt with the pressures and the hits he was taking, and he didn't bail out or didn't wilt. And I know that D'Amico loved that. And I'll tell you what, with a rookie, when you're in a game, the score, it really wasn't. Lamar didn't take over. You were never fully out of the game. I think if you go back and you're Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator, you're thinking maybe Pierce should have touched the ball more. Just when we're within 2 scores, all it takes is a drive and a turnover, and you're right back at it. And Lamar didn't dominate the game, so it's not like he overtook it. But Stroud throwing 40-plus times, I don't think they want to do that. But I was impressed with the fact that in his opening game as a rookie coordinator and a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, they threw it 44 times and leaned on a rookie to be the guy that bailed them out and try to throw them back into it instead of you saw last night, even though they won, Zach Wilson's been in the league 3 years. Hackett didn't, they were not going to put him in a position to fail. It was run, be safe with the football, and let's kick and go home. So that's one. I think I think Anthony Richardson was the most impressive. And I think that his ability to grasp what he needed to grasp as quick as he did, I'm impressed. Not that I'm talking about any of these 3 guys. It is so hard because you're thinking about so much to be a reactor when you're trying to think your way through. Oh yeah, motion. Okay, here, because you are thinking about that as a rookie quarterback instead of just reacting. That guy's he's an outside linebacker playing quarterback. I was impressed with his accuracy. We know about his athleticism, and as he continues to get reps, he's going to be a hell to deal with. He immediately made the Colts a better team than they've been the last couple of years when it comes to explosiveness. They still got a ways to go. And with Bryce, he's on a bad team right now. Yeah. Their offseason looked pretty good, but they don't block anybody. We know he's a playmaker, but he's going to get knocked around. He's going to take some sacks. He probably, of the 3, had the slowest start. Now, we know what he's capable of, but if I was playing against Bryce Young this week, you'd get a ton of pressures. If I was New Orleans, the confusion and the pressure, because I just don't think they're very good at a lot of positions, which puts a quarterback in a bind, especially when they're not going to be a great protection team.
He is Sean. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
No, sorry about that. He is Sean Salisbury. He's with us here every Tuesday on AFR. We talk a little pro. We talk a little college. Sean, let me knock out our first break. We'll come back, and I do want to talk a little bit in particular about LSU's challenge this week, going to Starkville to take on Mississippi State and a different looking Mississippi State offense and what that challenge is going to be like. So we'll pick up with that when we continue here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel and the Watermark Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. The Watermark downtown, the Renaissance in Southtown, right across from the mall on Bluebonnet. Of course, the Watermark, if you have not yet been to the Watermark Hotel and you spend any amount of time in Baton Rouge, I could not recommend this highly enough. It is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. The lobby bar is awesome. Great place for a cocktail or a glass of wine. Enjoy it after work or a night on the town. If you have family coming in town, great place to stay. Watermark in downtown. It's the old Louisiana National Bank building, the original high-rise in downtown Baton Rouge, which has been converted now into this exquisite hotel property. And remember, the Gregory is the restaurant right there in the lobby of the Watermark. Just trust me. Go and order the duck entree. If you love duck, I love duck. If you love duck, this is exquisite. You will love it. It is the Gregory inside the Watermark Hotel, downtown Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care. It
was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, we continue with Sean Salisbury. Spent that first segment talking a little NFL. Switch gears, talk some college. And, Sean, he's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered, by the way. You were such a great resource for us when we talk state because you and Mike Leach obviously had such a good relationship. And it's odd talking about an LSU Mississippi State game, knowing, number one, that Mike Leach isn't there, but also how different that this game is going, just the football is going to look without Mike Leach. I want to take this from 2 different ways. Number one is, what does it mean for Mississippi State just not having Mike Leach there? And then the other is just the changes in the football. But let's start with what that means not having him there.
It seems everywhere Mike goes, it seems like when he leaves, whether it's taking a new job or in this case, the tragedy, people crave him back because I think Mike's kind of like away from football. As we know, he was a different breed, Matty, and I think we all loved him for refreshing, right?
Yeah.
He would sing for you on a cameo thing, do a video for you, talk about cookies. I just think it was like Mike's just a wacko. And I mean that affectionately because I love the guy like family. I loved it and everything about him. And so many conversations that didn't just revolve around football for him. And I just about stupid stuff. And I think the stupid stuff kind of we relate to, meaning the silly stuff, like when he's talking about this or talking about desserts. Or I remember the video he did when he was talking about telling the guy not to get married, joking around. But and it's always so straight faced. And, he's the Bill Walton of football.
Yeah.
You ask him one question and Mike can take up 45 minutes with the answer. And you say, Mike, we've blown through 3 breaks. We're cool, dude. Keep it up. But I think they miss what's the word I'm looking for? The uniqueness of him. And man, I'm just telling you, Mike's never pulled punches about your feelings. You know what I'm saying about If he has something to say, he's just going to say it. And I think it was refreshing, not only to college football, plus the Pirate fit him. He does things unconventional, and his unconvention worked. And his personality matched the way he coached football. So it wasn't like it changed. So I think that's one thing they miss. And just the fact that let's not, all the quirkiness of Mike Leach, let's not forget, everywhere he went, they played better, and he's a hell of a football coach.
Yes.
And I think we know that. Now the switch on the field, they're obviously going to miss the the play sheet that fit in the palm of his hand, that these guys like he and Lincoln Riley, it's like, and Dana Holger's like, what are you looking at? There's like 4 formations. What else are you looking at? And Mike was a stickler. Mike didn't want anything to do. I could know Mike for 100 years and say, we could talk. He says, man, I love that, Sean. Well, Mike, I'll be your quarterback coach. He don't want anybody near his quarterbacks, and it's never going to happen, even when he's in heaven playing with the good Lord, right? As a football, the X's and O's, what the change is going to be different. You went from ball control, ball out, horizontal passing game, spread them out, edge rushing, a lot of screen game, get it out, which is good. This offense from App State, and Kevin's a good football coach, is with the coordinator is, and they went outside the program and got something different. They are an explosive big play. You're going to see more vertical passing game. It's like the spread, but a power part of it. You know what I mean, Maddie? They instead of getting to the edges out there, they want to play downhill power in your face football. There's not one finger is the spread offense mixed with power run game. It means something, but also the vertical play action, not play action to throw a screen all the time and to run shallow crossers or mesh. They're explosives. You better be prepared for the big play because they want to break your back with those kind of things. And whenever you play Mississippi State, they're going to have an accurate passer. They always do. But this is more of a 20-plus attack the perimeter, but also attack vertically, mix in the horizontal, where it used to be flip-flopped. Mike's offense and that air raid, you attack horizontally, get it out, run the football by spreading them out with big old wide splits. This is more muscle you, play downhill, wear you out in the physical run game, and they do want to be physical, but also hit you with play action and push the ball down the field vertically. You're going to get more attempts at that, which you can get a pass interference call or what have you. A little bit more pressure on the back end down the field than you'd see with a normal Mike Leach offense when he plays a little more horizontal football.
So which do you – and I know we talked last week, you and I talked last week about the defensive struggles LSU had against Florida State, and some of those in the secondary carried over into the first quarter against Grambling. I don't expect that you watch LSU Grambling, but they gave up 173 yards in the first quarter against Grambling, and then they steadied themselves. But which is a bigger Achilles heel for the LSU defense, the Mike Leach style of spread them out, get it out quick, or this State offense where, Sean, Will Rodgers this past weekend, who's thrown for 11,000 yards in his career, was 13 of 17 for 162. They just don't throw it.
They're going to have to throw it more, Maddie, against it. They just are. And if they're dominating your run game, they'll just keep running the football. And Will Rodgers can he is a very, as we've noticed, and coming from that Mike, he's an accurate passer. Here's the deal, though. You're a little bit, while they're physical, LSU always brings that to the table. What it does is when you're playing the type of offense they're playing now, the underneath coverage, it put more pressure on linebackers to run and make plays in LSU to scrape, that team speed of running sideline to sideline. This puts more vertical pressure to get if you're playing zone linebackers in coverage over the second layer of throw, but it also puts a lot of pressure on your secondary, like all verts, which Mike ran, but off play action, because if you're a power run game, Maddie, let me put you at safety for a second, right? Strong safety, and I'm a power run game. And I've got a good run game, and I've got an accurate quarterback, but our MO is to take some shots. But we're going to live with the power run game first. What's your normal reaction if you got 7 men and they're running against it, or 6 men if they spread you out? Is it you to get nosy in the box, right? You want to come down. I need you down around the line of scrimmage, right? Nosy for people listening, know that I need the strong safety getting down there and getting nosy. Well, what happens with that? You pull it out. Think what Tennessee used to do with Ryan Tannehill. It's a different type of offense, but with Derrick Henry, you have to defend run first. With Mike, and the spread, while they want to run it, do you really think about, I got to spread, defend the run first? No. You felt you had to defend the horizontal mesh passing game, run after the catch, because the ball came out so quickly. The best thing you can do against this with the pressure you'll put on the back end, because if you're playing 2 high safeties, now you're putting pressure on them and they're half the field, and you got the whole shots and verticals and bender over the Mike linebacker. If they're playing a single high safety, which a middle of the field closed, now you're threatening that safety. You put the corners in a bigger bind, and the safeties, the back end's in a bigger bind with vertical passing game. The linebackers and good corners that can tackle the underneath horizontal passing game. But this is always scary when you play a team that wants to run it down your throat. Now, they're not going to get away with throwing it 12 times against LSU. They're going to have to take some throws, but when you get too nosy, they try to create numbers in the vertical pass and get a home run on you early in a game or in the middle of the second quarter when you're expecting second down run. So you got to stop the run in every game first, but the philosophy now has to change. You can't get too nosy. There's better athletes. I'm not to say they're not at Mississippi, better athletes at LSU, but you will, and they will study this defense. And if they find the weakness in the vertical passing, and they're going to take shots and thinking if we throw 8 of them, hit 2 of them and get a pass interference call, we'll take those odds down the field.
Yeah. LSU Mississippi State Saturday. It's gonna be a different look. It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. He's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Sean, I gotta ask if your thought on Bama and if Jalen Milroe is salvageable in that offense, or does Nick have to make a change to go with one of the other guys to see if they can build him up?
I think you're going to see more than one quarterback play a lot of times this year, Matty. I think I've been able to sit down with Milroe's dad. He's a Katy kid.
Okay.
And we sat and talked football about it when Bryce was there, about what he was learning and what he did. Now, listen, if you were in a straight downhill run game and Nick was old school Nick, and that's how you could survive, which obviously, as you see, we're in a college football landscape that even Alabama can't survive it. At least it seemed running downhill, playing the old school, win 17-10, 17-13, play all that defense, control the clock, throw 12 times, and have your quarterback run 8 or 10 or 12 of them, and we'll go home. You don't have that luxury anymore because, well, name, image, and likeness and transfer portal have leveled the playing field. That's for another conversation with Nick and his resistance to some of those things, and a guy like Dabo Swinney. But what happens is with Milroe, listen, I think I know who you are. I know he's a big physical kid. He's not leading the SEC, and throwing is not where you're going to live with him. I think Nick's philosophy this year, since he didn't have a Tua or a guy like Hurts or Tua or Bryce Young that could take over a game throwing it, I think he went in thinking, maybe I can go back to my day when we played defense, ran the ball, and shorten the game. But right now, you shorten the game, you go 3 and out. Quinn Ewers, the throwers in the SEC and all over the country are just too good. Yeah. So you can't salvage possessions if you're just going 3 and out, not dominating the line of scrimmage. And everybody's big now, and everybody's got athletes. So I would be shocked if Milroe was the only quarterback you saw. I think you'll see 2 or 3 of them until Nick finds, even if he's not looking for him, the guy who you're like, ooh, we discovered that guy can throw the football, and then you'll see the transformation. Nick's got to understand that 1998 and 2005 don't live here anymore. It's a different game, and I think he knows it, but he's still stubborn, which has made him good. But you saw in this landscape that you can't just run the football, and if you're not an efficient passer and you're playing the LSUs, the good teams in the SEC, the Georgias, they'll eventually get you because they're just as physical as you, and then it comes down to 8 to 10 throws a game. And Milroe's specialty is big physical runner, mix in a pass, not the other way around.
Last thing for you is the SEC bad?
I don't think, Matty, when I think about the SEC and bad, I think we're too early to even suggest that yet. But SEC and bad, I don't think should ever come into play right now. There's too many good teams. Do I think that it's not as top-heavy dominant? I still got to see. While Alabama's loaded with the new quarterback, I want to see how they look when I do. I don't put it this way. I don't think there's a clear-cut, they're in the Final Four. While Georgia's the number 1 team in the country, I think Michigan can be as physical as them. I think that LSU's got a better quarterback than them. I think that Georgia could be upset by somebody that if Tennessee, I don't even know if they're playing, but if Tennessee were to play him and Milton got hot, you can beat them.
That game is the second to last weekend.
Yes.
In Knoxville.
There you go, and that's dangerous. So we'll see how their quarterback Young. I think the reason it's down, Matt, is the reason you went to Milroe. Look at the teams that are playing a lot. They're playing new quarterbacks. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and you'd say, well, it doesn't matter. They just reload. Well, you saw it mattered in Alabama because if Quinn Ewers couldn't throw, guess what? They still don't win. So to me, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's as clear cut that every year it's SEC. I think the Pac's come back. I think that there's a really good chance that you may see a national champion outside the SEC this year, although I'm never going to say it's bad, but I will tell you this, and we've been ripping my conference since I've been on with you the last couple of years, Matty, the depth of it and the Pac-12, the fact that we got the two teams. And I honestly think Washington State and Oregon State should just screw over the Pac-12 and play each other 12 times next year, home and away every week, right? And create a Red Sox-Yankees battle, right? A rivalry. The Pac-12 now, Oregon State, Colorado, Utah, USC, Washington, Oregon. And you know what they all have in common right now, Matty?
Got 8
the
ranked
stuff
teams.
That we just talked.
Yeah.
That guy under center, aside from good coach, the guy at team speed and all that, SEC's got it. The guy under center is a little bit different than other, and their conference is elevated in its last year. So I don't think it's bad. I just don't think we have 6 teams in it where you're like, oh my gosh. Yet I can wake up on a day where Mississippi can go beat somebody that they're not supposed to beat that day. We're so quarterback driven. If you don't have home runs and big plays, it's hard to grind out 17 to 14 wins anymore. And I think you're going to see that this year. I'm not sure you're going to see an undefeated team in the SEC this year. I'm really not.
I agree with you. He is Sean Salisbury on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. He's with us every Tuesday here. It's always our pleasure. Sean, thanks, man. Looking forward to doing it again next week, man.
I love it, Matty. Thanks for having me on as always, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll talk to you. That is Sean Salisbury. This is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. You know where to find them, ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. That's CHABILLS, ShawbillsTire.com. Name brand tires, wholesale prices. That's what you always get at Shawbills. And when you buy tires at Shawbills, you get Charlie's Dozen. That's a dozen benefits extended to every vehicle in your family, like free tire repair, free balancing, free alignment for the life of your tires. It's at Shawbills. Learn more. And, of course, the price match guarantee. Buy your tires at Shawbills. See those tires advertised somewhere lesser for a cheaper price. They'll pay you 125% of the difference. That's at Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills. We keep you rolling. It's been a really good show. Thanks to Sean Salisbury for being here with us. We did open the show today. If you weren't here, of course, with the Aaron Rodgers news, and there's some scuttle that Jameis Winston could potentially be a target for the Jets. That's nothing official from the Jets, but the consensus is the Jets are going to call everybody. And one of the names that you kind of see popping up on lists is Jameis as a potential target for the Jets. And what a deal if the Saints did trade Jameis. What might that look like? We got into that in the show open today. So we covered a lot of ground and got one segment to go. When we come back, we'll delve back into a little bit of what Brian Kelly and Zach Arnett had to say as they're getting ready for this game Saturday morning in Starkville. And Otter locks in about 15 minutes. The Otter double hit last night, gave you the under, which hit even in an overtime game, and he liked the Jets. And the Jets, that was even before we knew A.A. Ron was going to be out. So a double winner last night for the Otter. We'll give them 2 dings for that. You better believe we will. So we'll see what the Otters got for us tonight. All right, it's After Further Review. Quick break. Come back, talk a little LSU. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. You know where to find them. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. That's agent225.com. If you are thinking about selling your home, first of all, you need a realtor. You absolutely need a realtor. 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor anyway. Darren James has the systems and the processes in place to get your home sold faster for more money. Of course, he utilizes his vast social network as well. You'll see these pictures and all these different movies and motion graphics to promote his homes, his listings, your property that he's trying to get sold faster for more money. So follow Darren on all social media. He gives you great tips as well on his social media platforms. But mostly, if you're thinking about selling your home, call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Call Darren James and get your home sold. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Officially, it's a fridge full of beer. Unofficially, it's free AC. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there in the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Tim Pujol on a P-U-J-O-L, not P-O-O-H-O-L-E. I'm assuming. I don't think it's Pujol. I'm gonna go. Yes, like the baseball player, like Albert?
I mean, yeah. I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody listening assumed it was spelled the other way when you consider it was a last name.
I said Pujol.
Because that's just never happened.
I said Pujol.
Yeah, but that's not how you would spell it in a last name.
I'm sorry that I'm contaminated from sitting next to T-Bob for whiskey and wine for however many consecutive years now.
And
I
before
see something
that, the
like
scoreboard
that,
show.
And the pregame show. Oh, my God. Thank God those days are gone. Tim P. writes.
Tim P.
Tim P. writes.
Tim P.
No, not like the city in Arizona. Not Tempe.
It's Tempe.
Tim, the letter P, initial P.
Oh, okay.
Last name, initial P.
TP. Call him TP.
Can I read this question, please? He says, am I the only one? Well, then shut up. Am I the only one concerned the Saints had 3 picks and a blocked punt and only won by 1? That's one way to look at it. Listen, my take on the game when we were here yesterday was you never apologize for winning the NFL. It is too damn hard to win. Some days you're going to get 3 interceptions and a blocked punt and win by 1. Some days you're going to be Josh Allen, where you throw 3 picks and you fumble, and it's the Jets need overtime to beat you. That's how it goes sometimes in the NFL. I don't have a great explanation. What I'll tell you is I'm glad you got those things. Where this team clearly needs to improve is their red zone efficiency. Now, we spent so much time talking about adding Jimmy Graham and how he could be a red zone threat, and then he's not even on the field in the red zone. So maybe it's one of those things where, look, let's see if we can get Pete Carmichael in a better rhythm, calling plays, and get this thing ramped up. Is there reason to be concerned? Sure. I could also very much look at it and say, you're 1-0 next, because you don't make apologies for how you win in the NFL. That's just the bottom line. There's like period, paragraph. That's it. There's no other reason to speak further. All right. It's after further review. It brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Yesterday was my 5-year LASIK anniversary. 5-year LASIK anniversary. And I posted about it on Instagram, and Dr. Blake Williamson commented on my post. And he said, Matt, thanks for trusting me and for trusting your family to my care. I've sent a lot of my family to Dr. Blake Williamson. He said, vision correction surgery should be a rite of passage for everyone suffering from poor eyesight. Thanks for helping us help them one eye at a time. I thought that was so apropos. And it's so true. Because I lived it. So many of you live it every single day. Like, ain't nothing you did wrong. You're just born genetically with bad eyes. And I was that. And I ain't no more. Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center did my LASIK 5 years ago yesterday. And I'm thrilled. Still to this day, 5 years, still seeing better than 2020. It's life-changing. It is absolutely life-changing to give yourself the gift of sight. Dr. Blake Williamson gets to do that every day. So call 924-2020. Just go for that consultation. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. Our friends over at DraftKings have updated their Heisman odds after this past weekend. Do we have a consensus? Is there like a favorite for the room, Muse? Like if you had to pick today, who do you think wins the Heisman? If you had to say today, wins. Are you eating food?
I was eating food.
Way to go, Otter. Eating on the air. Attaboy. Stay hot.
I wasn't expecting that. Consensus favorite for the Heisman Trophy?
Let me go to Paul while you, like, take a swig of water. Get whatever, like, swallow whatever that is in your mouth. I mean, I get it. I mean, Paulie. I mean, what happens about an hour after you know, I got a little munchies, huh? The guy got a little hungry.
Oh, yeah, in the munchies right now.
Guy had the munchies a little bit there. Okay. Paulie, thoughts, Heisman. Who do you think wins the Heisman if you had to pick today?
If I had to pick today.
Putting you totally on the spot. Just go. Throw out a name.
My top two options would be Jordan Travis or Quinn Ewers.
Okay. All right. No Caleb Williams. Muse.
Jordan Travis was going to be my answer too, Paul. So I wish I could come up with somebody different, but I really like that. And he's going to be on the team that's going to, contend for a conference championship, maybe a playoff spot. I just don't see them giving it to Caleb Williams in 2 years in a row. It doesn't happen. Like that's just, it's happened one time for a reason. That's what we always say.
I agree. And I know, listen, you can go back and look at Matt Leinert's 2005. It was better than his 04.
Yep.
Tim Tebow's 2008 was better than his 07. Yep. So generally speaking, you ain't going to get it. The standard is too high to win it a second time. So, but Caleb Williams still, by the way, DraftKings has updated their odds. Caleb Williams is at plus 400. Michael Penix, Quinn Ewers, Jordan Travis, all at plus 900. Followed by J.J. McCarthy of Michigan. Nobody's talking about, by the way, but if that team keeps rolling, their schedule is a total joke. Their non-conference schedule is a joke. They beat Ohio State, Penn State. They're in.
Will he have the stats, though?
Maybe. What if you're the
With
quarterback?
The way they run the ball, though?
Well, what if you're the quarterback of the only undefeated team? Like the example I always give you is I'll go back to some years there isn't an obvious choice, and so you get a one-off. 2006 quarterback from Ohio State,
Troy Smith.
Troy Smith was a great example of that, and at the time he was he won with the highest margin percentage of winning the Heisman at the time ever. There wasn't an obvious choice, so it was like, okay, well, the quarterback of the best team, and they just beat Michigan in the 1-2 matchup. RG3's year, they lost 3 games that year. Baylor was 9-3, yep. But he had put up a lot of stats, and there wasn't the obvious choice of the quarterback from the great team. That was Tyron was a finalist in 2011 that year. So, I mean, you had 5 finalists on the stage that year. Yep. So sometimes there isn't the obvious choice. So you can have a Shadur Sanders on a 9-3 team who had this incredible year step up and win it, or Travis Hunter obviously is a long shot. I understand where y'all are going with Jordan Travis, and he may get there. The two that are just going, like, we are going to be force fed these two the whole year as long as they keep playing well, are Quinn Ewers and Sam Hartman, because it's Texas and it's Notre Dame. And if they have a chance to get the Texas or the Notre Dame quarterback to New York City, like that's, I mean, it's hard to look beyond either of those. Now, can Notre Dame continue to roll? We'll find out. I mean, they're going to play Clemson here soon, and we'll find out how those results go and if you can keep pace. But I mean, right now, those are the two I would look at. I would go Ewers, Hartman are probably the ones that would have, I think, the most realistic potential to jump up and win it.
Especially when you look at Notre Dame's schedule. I mean, if Hartman goes through that and they keep winning and he puts up the numbers that he is, he'll be there. I mean, he's been really, really good so far. He's been awesome. He's been awesome.
The first 2 weeks were laughable. You did go on the road and beat NC State 45-24. Here's the rest. They got Central Michigan, and then obviously they play Ohio State.
You win that.
You get Ohio State at home. If he throws for 250 and 3 touchdowns against Ohio State, it's a night game, NBC. Everybody's going to be watching it. Then you're at Duke, at Louisville, home against Southern Cal. So you get a game at home against the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. You get Pitt at Clemson, Wake, and Stanford. So you got big games.
Like, schedule's there for him, man.
The schedule is there if he has big moments in those big games. So file that one away. And that was T-Bob's pick, too, before the season.
Really?
Sam Hartman. So, all right, it's after further review. Let's knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back, do Otter Locks. Jimmy hit last night. In fuego. Gave you Dallas on Sunday. Gave you the Jets and the under yesterday. Dude, just throwing out winners. NFL's here. Everybody struggles to win in the NFL. Not the Otter, bro. Not the Otter and his band of merry handicappers. They roll, man. All right, Otter next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. You always get to Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, remember, they got curbside pickup at Rouse's, so download the Rouse's app. It's easy. Download the Rouse's app. Pick out your items. If it's $35 or more, if your order is $35 or more, there's no charge for curbside delivery. And if your order is over $100, use the code SAINTS20, and they'll give you $20 off your order with the code SAINTS20. Of course, Rouse's is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse is also the official, or I should say, our friends over at Sunshine is the official tractor of the New Orleans Saints. But Rouse is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. So go to Rouse's.com, download the Rouse's app. Of course, curbside pickup is available. And again, use that promo code SAINTS20 to save $20 off orders of $100 or more. Over at Rouse's, this feels like home.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, I'm happy to say we have vehicles in stock and more coming in at no markup. Don't pay over MSRP. Come on down to Corvell Toyota and choose your new Toyota today. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind. When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast all of your.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. I do want to remind you again, go to sunequip.com. That's SUNEQUIP, sunequip.com. They got a really cool thing they're doing right now for future farmers of America. If you go to the website, scroll down, you'll see where you can win the Saints Gator, the John Deere Gator from Sunshine. It's a Sunshine New Orleans Saints Gator giveaway supporting the Louisiana Future Farmers of America. You can go to get your tickets there. You'll see where it says enter to win. You can you can buy your tickets right there. There's a number to text as well if you want to buy your tickets via text. Anyway, go to sunequip.com. Scroll down on the homepage. You'll see it, sunequip.com. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Okay, one thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlock.
Otterlocks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott Otter. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Got a little lucky last night with a little Jets under.
Jets and the under. That's a chew, and that's no Aaron Rodgers. Both still hit. You had the Cowboys on Sunday night. You're in Fuego, Otter. In Fuego. We just had to get you away from Del Mar and MLB. That's all we had to do.
Well, that's what we have on the card tonight. Is MLB. I mean, Del Mar's not running tonight, but
okay.
MLB is. Let's go to Texas. Texas has been, on a massive collapse. You know, this is one of the best teams in baseball, highest scoring team in baseball for second largest run margin. But, 16 of 20, they have been on a major fall off. But a modest little 3-game winning streak, and now they come with the hammer and Matt Scherzer. So, minus 115 at Toronto against Ryu. I think it's a modest price against a team that's trying to get right with, a guy that this is why they brought him over. So, at DraftKings, Scherzer's minus 115 right now.
Yep, got it. All right.
Minnesota, Tampa Bay, 2 teams that should be in the playoffs. Minnesota, Tampa Bay after a great start kind of flattened out. Minnesota is kind of the best of the bad American League Central. They got one of their best pitchers tonight, Ryan, going against one of the weakest in Littell for Tampa Bay. A little bounce back spot. Tampa Bay won last night. Joe Ryan at home, another modest price at DraftKings, minus 130 on that one.
I'm actually looking at 125 right now.
Even better. Just add more to the bet.
Let's go. Let's go. All right.
And a parlay, Cubs Milwaukee. See what that pays. It was playing 150 earlier. Assad's okay for the Cubbies. Cubbies came back with 2 in the 9th to overcome a 1-run deficit to beat Colorado last night. And Chris Flexen, who's been pretty good over the course of his career, has been horrible this year, especially at home. Cubbies feel it, man. They're in the playoffs right now with a little room to spare. They're taking care of business tonight. After being a little lucky last night, the Cubs in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Peralta has been one of the best. Freddie Peralta, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball as of late. The Brewers have been one of the best home teams of all of baseball. They kind of ran away from that three-team race in the NL Central. It's all just a matter of time before they clinch. What's that parlay pay right now?
Cubs and Milwaukee money line parlay is plus 149 at DraftKings.
There you go. Okay.
All right, so we got Texas on the money line, Minnesota on the money line, and a Cubs Brewers money line parlay paying $149 at DraftKings. Where are you tomorrow?
1 minute remaining.
At Roca Pizzeria on Government Street. The Mac can't get here quick enough.
I'm right there with you, man. I went very, very, very modest on the Otter Locks tonight as I am waiting on Thursday Night Football eagerly. We'll get through it today and tomorrow. All right, Otter, thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, that is Jimmy Ott with us every single day here as we wrap up the show with Otter Locks. Otter Locks, the best bet for the night. Of course, brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, commercial or residential. Roof repairs, roof replacements. Remember, if you got a commercial building, Hudco has a silicone coating product, 20-year warranty, roughly half the cost of a roof replacement. You better find out. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's going to do it for us. Muse, Paulie, y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
All right, as we pack on up and get on down the road, let me remind you about Traction, TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com. Yes, Traction has a world-class facility. All the turf fields, the world-class weight training facility, the pitching lab upstairs, but also at Traction. Remember, Traction Elite Physical Therapy as well. Whether you're a weekend warrior, maybe you're a runner who's on the shelf right now, maybe you want to get back on the golf course, tennis court, pickleball court, whatever it is. You like running the court, playing pickup basketball. If you have an active lifestyle and an injury is keeping you from that, Traction Elite Physical Therapy helps you get back in the game. Remember, when it comes to physical therapy, you choose your physical therapy clinic. So choose the best. Choose the same physical therapy clinic where world-class athletes go to get back to their sport. They can help you as well. It's at Traction. TractionSports.com to learn more. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right